Hello everyone and welcome to Burn Your Books, Open Your Mind. I'm your friend and host BYBOYM and you are watching Foundation for NEET. The first chapter in our course for biology is life processes, digestion and absorption. Today we are going to begin the 12th topic, Histology of Alimentary Canal. The alimentary canal is a long tube that is like a stage or theater for digestion. Since you are already familiar with the alimentary canal, let's move on to what histology is. Histology is the study of tissues and cells under a microscope. It is also known as Microscopic Anatomy or Microanatomy, as it studies the microscopic anatomy of biological tissues. Histology is the microscopic counterpart to gross anatomy. In gross anatomy, we look at the structures of the body and their organization without a microscope, whereas in histology, we are looking at the same structure but at the microscopic level. So in this video, we are going to take a look at what type of tissues form your alimentary canal. You may recall from the last video that the alimentary canal is like a long tube that starts with the mouth and ends at the anus. If you haven't checked out the previous video on alimentary canal in humans, check out the link in the description or click here. Now moving on to tissues, a tissue is a group of cells that performs specialized function. For example, muscular tissue produces movement and neural or nervous tissue transmits information and serves as a center for control and coordination. We are basically saying that the tissue is a group of cells that performs a specialized function. Before we could understand what type of tissues are present in the alimentary canal, let's take a short summary of animal tissues. You may remember that animal tissues are of four types. The first type is nervous tissue that plays role in control and coordination. The second is muscular tissue that plays role in movement and locomotion. The third is epithelial tissue that plays a role in protection by acting as a covering. It also plays role in absorption in the alimentary canal. Now the fourth type of tissue is your connective tissue that plays a role in binding, support and transport. Now moving on to the muscular tissue, we have three different types of muscular tissue. The first one is striated, the second non-striated and the third cardiac tissue that is found in the heart. Now moving on to epithelial tissue, it is of five types. First one is squamous epithelium having flattened cells. The second is cuboidal epithelium having cube-like cells. The third is columnar epithelium having tall column-shaped cells, and the fourth one is ciliated epithelium having cells with cilia present on them. The fifth is glandular epithelium having cells with secretory function. That means the cells of glandular epithelium secretes various molecules. Now connective tissue is of four types. The first, loose connective tissue. The second, skeletal tissue. The third, fluid vascular tissue, and the fourth, dense regular connective tissue. Loose connective tissue is of two types, areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Skeletal tissue is of two types, bone and cartilage. Now cartilage again is of three types. The first, hyaline cartilage, fibrous cartilage and calcified cartilage. Now moving on to vascular tissues, we have two types of vascular tissues. We have blood and we have lymph. Whereas dense regular tissue is of two types, tendons and ligaments. Now that you know what types of animal tissues are, let's move on to dissect an alimentary canal and look at its tissue structure. The outermost layer is serosa, which is also known as adventitia or visceral peritoneum. Next to serosa is muscularis. It contains an outer longitudinal layer and an inner circular layer. Only in stomach do you find an extra region which is an oblique region. So together the outer longitudinal and inner circular are part of the muscularis layer. Next to muscularis is submucosa. It is formed of loose connective tissue containing nerves, blood vessels and lymph vessels. Glands are also present in the duodenum region. Next to submucosa is mucosa. It is the innermost layer lining the lumen of the alimentary canal. This layer forms irregular folds which are known as rugae in the stomach. and small finger-like foldings called villi are found in the small intestine. It is formed of epithelium, majorly simple columnar epithelium, and lamina propria, which is made up of connective tissue, and muscularis mucosa, which is made up of smooth muscles. The inner cavity or the empty space is known as the lumen of the alimentary canal. Now that you know the histology of the alimentary canal, you must be wondering what are these villi in the mucosa layer. Before we do that, just take a nice screenshot of whatever we have done. Now moving ahead, what are villi? Villi are small finger-like foldings, about 4 million, present in the small intestine. And what do? They increase the surface area for the absorption of food. The villi are richly supplied with blood vessels which serve to take up the absorbed food to each part of the body, where it is utilized for energy production, growth and repair. The villi are supplied with a network of capillaries and a large lymph vessel called the lacteal. So you can see that there is a large lymph vessel in yellow which is known as the lacteal. Both villi as well as microvilli serves to increase the surface area for absorption. So villi were small finger-like foldings that were present in the small intestine, whereas microvilli are cytoplasmic extension of the plasma membrane of the epithelial cells lining the villi. This basically has been done for only increasing the surface area for absorption. Now we'll move on to the next part, that is, do you know? So we'll be sharing some interesting facts with you. The first fact is that an average person produces around 2 soda cans of saliva every day. There are waves-like muscular movement in the alimentary canal that allows forward movement of food. The layer responsible is muscularis. We have already studied that. Interesting fact is that your body can move your food through the digestive system even while you are standing on your head. Why? Because this is not connected to gravity. It is connected to the muscles. There exists a gut-brain axis that links your digestive system to the nervous system, and your mood affects your appetite and vice versa. What type of food you eat would affect your mood, and what type of mood you have would depict what kind of appetite you would be having, whether you would be in the mood to eat or you would not be in the mood to eat. The large intestine colon lacks villi and possess very straight intestinal glands in lamina propria. So you don't have any villi in the large intestine. I hope you understand the video and like the video. Thank you. You are watching Burn Your Books, Open Your Mind.